What's up, guys? I'm Brad. Now, listen, if you enjoy just looking at different graded sports magazines like me, then I've got a video for you today. So, a lot of my previous videos have focused on like highest sales, but that cuts out a lot of cool stuff. That cuts out a lot of really neat covers, and that's one of my favorite things to do is just see some of these different covers that people come up with and get graded and how nice they look displayed and slabbed by CGC. So today I have put together a list of quite a few sales that happened last month in May of 2023. And we're just going to run through them and we're just going to check out some different magazine covers. Some are ungraded, many are graded. And yeah, let's see what you think. All right, here we go, jumping right in. And we're going to start off with this 2006 Sports Illustrated Dwayne Wade printing plates plus two magazines. I'm going to be honest, I've never seen this before. I've seen printing plates for sports cards. I had not seen printing plates before for Sports Illustrated magazine. So this is really interesting to see. This definitely caught my eye. You can see the two printing plates there on the top, as well as two copies of the actual final product there. This sold for $1,000 on eBay. Next up, we have Julio Rodriguez, last year's Rookie of the Year. This is a really recent Sports Illustrated cover from 2023, and it is Julio's first cover. This has been autographed and authenticated by JSA, sold for $200 on eBay. Next up, Jimmy Butler. He's definitely in the limelight here, playing in the NBA Finals for the Miami Heat, but this is his very first Sports Illustrated cover from 2015 when he was with the Chicago Bulls. This is a regional variant. I believe there were 4 different covers released that week, so this is a pretty tough one to find in newsstand. And this one's been autographed and authenticated by JSA, sold for $225 on eBay. Here we have Shaquille O'Neal in his first cover. How about this? This is ungraded, but it went for $595 on eBay. Pretty strong sale for a raw ungraded magazine, but it does look to be in good condition. Here we have Muhammad Ali, still known as Cassius Clay. This is from 1963. This is his very first Sports Illustrated cover before he had even become the heavyweight champion, and obviously before he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. Now, this is a subscription issue, but because it's Muhammad Ali, very collectible, vintage, basically 60-year-old magazine, it's definitely got collectability, whether it's newsstand or subscription. So $90 sale here on eBay. Here we have Phil Mickelson. This is his first Sports Illustrated cover. This is from 2004. Master stroke jumping up there, celebrating his first major championship. And this is autographed and it is authenticated by PSA. Sold for $104.27 on eBay. Here we have Bill Russell from 1969. So this was a subscription copy of a Sports Illustrated magazine. It's been framed and it's been autographed by PSA. And if you know much about Bill Russell, you know that he refused to sign autographs for, I believe, pretty much his entire playing career. There were several decades where Bill Russell would flat out deny autographs, even for his own teammates. And then later in life, he did start signing a little bit. So kind of tough to get a Bill Russell auto. And this one's been authenticated by PSA, sold for $350 on eBay. Here we have a 2022 Slam magazine, Victor Wambayama, and it's been autographed. He is the next big thing. He's the next, projected phenom, prodigy, most likely going to be the #1 pick in the upcoming NBA draft. And this copy sold for $105.50. Absolutely love this cover here. This is 1957 Sports Illustrated. Two major big time Hall of Famers, Stan the Man Musial and Ted Williams, the Splendid Splinter. This is a newsstand copy and it sold for $110 ungraded on eBay. Here we have Kid Dynamite, also known as Mike Tyson. This is his first Sports Illustrated cover from 1986. This is a subscription copy, but it's been autographed by Iron Mike, authenticated by JSA, sold for $210 on eBay. Love that silver Sharpie. Here we have Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, 1965 Sports Illustrated. That's his second Sports Illustrated cover there, and it is a subscription copy, as you can see. It's been framed, and it's got a signed index card on the bottom part of the frame that's been authenticated by PSA. It comes along with that letter of authenticity. This went for $481.99 on eBay. And let me just say this, there's not really much rhyme or reason to the order of these magazines, but the graded issues are more towards the back. So we're starting off with some non-graded, especially a lot of autos here, as is the case with this one. 2013 Sports Illustrated, you got John Elway and you've got RG3, Robert Griffin III, and both have autographed this cover, and it's been authenticated by Beckett, sold for $145 on eBay. 1970 Sports Illustrated Prefontaine, America's distance prodigy, excuse me. He's a legend, especially in the running community. This is a very difficult cover to find, and this one appears to be a newsstand, and it sold for $150 on eBay. Pretty cool one here, 2007 SI China, Sports Illustrated China version, and this is T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. So Tracy McGrady amazingly was never on a cover of the American version of Sports Illustrated, but he was on SI China, and this newsstand copy sold for 40 bucks on eBay. Here we have Ichiro Suzuki, his first cover from 2001. It's been autographed, sold for $264.80 on eBay. How about this one, Evel Knievel? This was his first and only Sports Illustrated cover from 1974. It is a subscription copy. You can see where the label was removed there on the left-hand side, but it's got an autographed by Evel Knievel. I have not seen hardly any of these, and it's been authenticated by Beckett, sold for $850 on eBay. Pretty cool one here. This is a 1980 to 81 Celtics yearbook featuring a nice photo there of Larry Bird very early in his career. This would be, I believe, heading into his second season in the NBA, and it's been autographed by Larry Legend, authenticated by PSA, sold for $125 on Heritage. This is one that I was personally looking at really, really hard, but it got just a bit out of my price range. 1960 Tid Ninja Record, probably just butchered that pronunciation, but it's a Swedish magazine and it's Pele. And it has been autographed by Pele, authenticated by PSA. It was sold on Heritage, and in fact, the Heritage listing even included a video of Pele signing this. This came from his personal collection. This magazine was actually owned by Pele, sold for $840 on Heritage. Okay, now moving into the graded magazines, and here we've got 1991 Sports Illustrated, two all-time greats, Magic and Michael. It's a CGC 7.0, and it sold for $201 on eBay. Here again, we have the next prodigy, Victor Wembanyama. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but this is a Sports Illustrated from 2023. It's his first Sports Illustrated, and this is a CGC 9.8, sold for $273 on eBay. Randy Moss, his first Sports Illustrated cover from 2002. It's a 9.4, sold for $315 on eBay. Here's another recent Sports Illustrated copy. This is from 2022. It's Mbappe, possibly the greatest soccer player in the world today and potential to be an all-time great. And it's a CGC 9.8, sold for $271.89. Very cool cover here. This is a really difficult one to find. It's Vince Carter. It's Vince Carter's very first cover from 1998, and it's a regional variant cover. So there were multiple covers that week. You can see that he's still in college with the North Carolina Tar Heels. And so some of the other covers that week featured players from different colleges, and this would have only been released somewhere in, the North Carolina or East Coast region. And this is a CGC 8.0 that sold for $275. 1969 Lou Alcindor, now known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and it's a CGC 8.0, sold for $578. 1965 Sports Illustrated Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston. This was their rematch. This was their second fight. Ali knocked out Liston in 64 to win his first heavyweight title. And right after that was when he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. But here you have him facing Sonny Liston, and they're still referring to him as Cassius Clay on the cover, which I think is interesting because at this time, if I'm not mistaken, he had already changed his name to Muhammad Ali, but he had a hard time getting people to buy in and actually call him that for a long time. So I think it's interesting that Sports Illustrated still puts Cassius Clay on the cover, but this is a 7.5 and it sold for $550. Next up, this is a really cool cover. It's Darrelle Revis. So he's a cornerback. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet, but he most likely will be. He was definitely a lockdown corner in his time. Used to call it Revis Island. And this is from 2015. It's a CGC 9.8. So this cover is a knockoff on Joe Namath's first cover. Broadway Joe, his very first cover, basically had this same background. And so they kind of did a little play on that and did a remix here with Darrelle Revis being with him being also a player for the New York Jets. So pretty cool here, and with it being in the pretty much the top grade at a 9.8, sold for $140. Here we have Lynn Dawson, Hall of Fame quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, passed away not too long ago, and this is a CGC 5.5 that sold for $200. Jim Kelly, 1986 Sports Illustrated CGC 9.0. It says, "Look out, Marino, Montana, and Fouts." Sold for $299.99. I believe that that's Jim Kelly there in his USFL uniform. Here we go. Not necessarily a sports magazine, but you got a little sports twist. So we're going to throw it in here. 1949 DC Comics Superman CGC 6.5. Look at that. Superman's the umpire. He's got his ump hat. He's got his ump mask, and he's getting into it there with the manager or the hitter, whoever that is. I don't know. And yeah, sold for $650 on eBay. Next up, Reggie Jackson, 1969. This is his first cover. It's a CGC 6.5, and it went for $400. 2014 Sports Illustrated, Lionel Messi, his first cover. This was a variant cover. This one's pretty difficult to find in newsstand as well. You also had a cover that week with Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. You also had one with Clint Dempsey, and then I think maybe Harry Kane was the fourth. But this was one of four covers that week, and this is a CGC 8.0. Went for $475. 1998 Sports Illustrated Tiger Woods. Love this cover. I think it's very cool there. It says Killer Instinct. Got that big white albino tiger. And at a 9.2, this one sold for $81.08. The Natural, Ken Griffey Jr., CGC 9.0. This is his first cover, $208.50. Love this cover, 1985 Sports Illustrated, the one and the only time that Hulk Hogan appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and it's a CGC 5.5, sold for $295. Here's a sport magazine. This is going back to 1948, before Sports Illustrated even began. The current edition of Sports Illustrated that is. There was an old version of Sports Illustrated. And this is the Babe Ruth, a CGC 7.0. That's a strong grade for a magazine from the 70s, and it sold for $195. 1986 Diego Maradona, CGC 8.5. It says the King of Soccer. Great cover here. One of the most collectible soccer covers in the history of Sports Illustrated, and this one went for $499. Here's a little more modern. We've got 2018 Patrick Mahomes. This is his first cover, and it's a CGC 9.0, sold for $249.95. All right, I rarely talk about swimsuit issues here on my channel, but I have to admit this is my all-time favorite swimsuit edition cover. Christy Brinkley, 1979. What a beautiful cover. This is a CGC 7.0, and it went for $535.50. Hank Aaron, his very first Sports Illustrated cover from 1969. Very crazy that it took that long for Hank to get on his first Sports Illustrated cover. He is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. I think he was already in like his 16th season or something crazy like that. He'd been playing a long time, had won an MVP, and somehow it wasn't until 69 that he was on the cover. But this was it, and this is a CGC 3.5 as a newsstand, and it sold for $125 on eBay. Lamar Jackson, 2016, his first cover there in his uniform with the Louisville Cardinals, and it's a CGC 9.6, sold for $145.39. Pretty cool one here. I hadn't seen this. This is 1993 Dark Horse Comics, Godzilla versus Barkley. You got Charles Barkley there on the cover fighting off Godzilla. Looks like he's using the the basketball to block Godzilla's whatever spit or venom. I don't even know, but it's a CGC 8.0 and it sold for $90. Going back to 1964, we've got NHL legend Gordie Howe, and this is a CGC 6.5 that sold for $170.72. Keeping it in the 60s, we've got Hall of Fame quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Bart Starr. This is his first cover, and it's a CGC 6.0, sold for $220.72. Gotta love some old school Dr. J, 1976 Sports Illustrated. I believe this is his second cover, still with the nets and the ABA, and it's a CGC 5.0 that sold for $123.50. Pistol Pete, 1973, playing with the Atlanta Hawks. This is a CGC 7.0. This is his first pro cover. It's his only pro cover, and this one went for $82.22. 1970 Sports Illustrated Dick Butkus, and this is a CGC 6.0. This is his first cover, sold for $133.72. My man Kobe Bryant from 2013, The Last Alpha Dog, and it's a CGC 9.4, sold for $59.99. Pete Rose, first cover from 1968. Love this cover. Very cool. It's a 5.0 copy and it sold for $285. One of the greatest football players of all time, Jerry Rice. It's his first cover with Sports Illustrated from 1989, and this is a 9.2 strong grade here, and this sold for $750. The Last Tango, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, if not the top two, and it's a CGC 9.8, sold for $995. We got our second Mike Tyson autograph here, but this is a CGC signature series, very, very rare. I've mentioned before that CGC doesn't authenticate autographs unless they have one of their employees actually physically witness the signature happen. That's very, very rare with athletes. Happens a lot more on the comic side. But here we have it. Mike Tyson and CGC actually witnessed this signature take place on this copy of 1992 Sports Superstars, and it's graded at a 9.4, sold for $570. 1999 Sports Illustrated Tim Duncan. This is Tim Duncan's first cover. It's also Kobe Bryant's second cover, and this is a 9.2 that sold for $250. Love this cover from 1999. It's Brandy Chastain after kicking the game-winning penalty kick for the women's national team, Team USA, to defeat China in the World Cup. And this is a CGC 9.4, sold for $153.63. 1956, Stan the Man Musial is one of those 5 Cardinals on the cover, and this was his first cover appearance. This is a CGC 7.0, and it sold for $350. Cool one here. This is 1948. This is Negro Heroes. And we got Jackie Robinson on the cover. This was the year after, I believe, that he broke the color barrier and began playing in the MLB. And it's a CGC 1.5. It sold for $221.50. Two big-time Hall of Famers here sharing the cover. You've got Elgin Baylor. You got Jerry West, both from the Los Angeles Lakers, and it's a CGC 6.0 from 1968, sold for $125. How about this one? Rocky Marciano from 1955, a CGC 9.0, sold for $675. 2008 Slam Presents. This is the Gold Rush cover. This is from the Redeem team after Carmelo and Kobe and LeBron led the Team USA to a gold medal, and this copy sold for $550. Another Slam here. This is from 2005, LeBron James. You got that cool cover looking like a king of diamonds. It's a CGC 8.0, and it sold for $100. Very, very cool cover. I had never seen this before. This is from 1980, Gambling Times. Hadn't even heard of that publication, but it's Magic Johnson from very early in his career. I believe would have been his rookie year, and it's a 7.0, sold for $109. Here's a classic. This is 1990 Beckett, the very first issue of Beckett Basketball Magazine, and this is a CGC 9.8 featuring Michael Jordan, sold for $365. Here's another Beckett. This is from 2003. It's a collector's edition of LeBron James, and this is graded at a near perfect CGC 9.8, sold for $565. Here's a 1953 Dell Baseball Annual Mickey Mantle, and it's a CGC 6.5, sold for $299. And wrapping it up, we've got Kobe Bryant. This is from 2020. It's ESPN the magazine. This was a tribute to him after he passed away. It's a CGC 9.2 and it sold for $150. Okay, that's it. Just going fast paced through a bunch of different covers. Please comment. Let me know if you enjoyed that, if this is a video that you would like to see me continue posting each month. And appreciate likes, comments, and subscribes. And until the next video, see you next time.